Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Kat about Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're gonna kind of do an interesting style of video. I have been playing Raid for about 9 months now, possibly a little longer, but I wanted to do kind of a reflective video on my experience playing the game in the past 9 months and why I plan on still playing it for a while longer. If you want to start playing the game, best way to do so is to click the link in my description or scan the QR code, and you'll start off your account with the legendary Corrado Fox Hunter plus 3 epic champions that are incredibly helpful. Yugo being huge. I use her late game. I use her in everything. She's incredibly helpful. Lady Annabelle, who you get at level 20, and she's really good in some late game pieces. And Fane, who you get at level 30 and is incredibly helpful for damage dealing, which you always need plenty of that in this game. So great way to start your account. Plus, you have to use the promo code Monkey King in the first 48 hours of creating your account, and that way you can get Sun Wukong, an incredibly helpful champion I need for everything. I use him in everything. My account would not be nearly what it is without him. So this is how I started playing the game. It's how I recommend everybody else start playing the game. If you want to play, you have to start with this kind of thing. This is how I started. So I want to give some context on my experience with video games. So I've been playing video games my entire life. When I was a little kid, I played console. I had a Nintendo 64. I had a PS2. I was more into the major console games. I played a lot of Star Wars games, and I played a lot of Pokemon. Lego Star Wars, Battlefront, Pokemon. Those were my jams as a kid. When I got into college, I started getting more into PC gaming because I couldn't bring my whole console to college, and then I started playing on Steam, and that really opened up a lot of different video games for me to play. And then as my life has developed, I still play on Steam. I still have a lot of favorite games there, but I started playing more mobile games, and not just like, Candy Crush. I think pretty much everyone has played that at some point. But I started playing more high development mobile games, is what I'd call it. So hero collectors, first-person shooters, what have you. I prefer more of a hero collector, so it was interesting to start seeing my games evolve and be accessible on my phone. Raid Shadow Legends is definitely among the most complicated, but we're going to talk about some of the experiences I've had while playing the game. And something that makes a huge difference for me is that there's not a lot of pressure to play this game. My life has changed a lot since I started playing this game about 9 months ago. First off, I got sponsored by the game to make these videos, and I really enjoy this. Like, content creation is not something I ever thought I would do in any kind of professional way, but I did it for fun, like in high school, like just made stupid videos with my friends kind of thing. But being able to do it as a full-time content creator is a little different. Not too different. My husband does it for a living, so I kind of saw the ins and outs of it. A couple other things have happened in the last 9 months. I also have another job. I audit healthcare facilities is the most generic way I can say it. So it's a lot more on the intellectual side, a lot more on the analytical side, and this is my creative side. So this is kind of my side gig. And my auditing job I've been getting a lot more work since I started doing Raid Shadow Legends. And just one other small thing, I got pregnant through IVF. And so the reason I specify the IVF part is because it took a lot of work. It took a lot of doctor's appointments, treatments, shots. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is not because I'm like, oh, look at all this cool stuff. It's because the amount of time I can put into this game has gone up and down, up and down, up and down quite a lot since I started playing it. Getting sponsored made me play a lot more, and then having my other job means I really have to balance some days. Some days I don't play a lot of Raid Shadow Legends. I'll play it maybe for 15-20 minutes in the morning, and that's all I can manage. Or even some days I'm just kind of done with it and I don't want to deal with it, and I'm like, I don't really want to be a content creator today. I just want to be an auditor today, or I just want to be a mom today. As I've played the game and had more time and had less time, I haven't really felt the pressure to keep it up. There's incentives, of course, to playing the game. So you have your daily login rewards. There's, of course, incentives that keep you wanting to play as much as possible. But what I appreciate is that I wouldn't be left in the dust if I took a couple days off. I can do more when I have more time. I have more motivation. Then I'll be in here and I'll be playing everything. I'll be doing Curse City. I'll be doing Siege. I'll be doing Doom Tower in every way. maxing out faction wars, dungeons, arena, everything. And some days I can't. There's other responsibilities. My energy levels are lower, especially with a little parasite baby sucking the life out of me. I have an option to kind of pull back and play less for a few weeks at a time, and then I can come in and play more. And I don't feel like there's going to be, heavy consequences. I'm not going to feel like left behind of the rest of the community for just not playing for a few days or a few weeks. And I appreciate that. I can kind of play this at my own pace. A lot of that being because the game is very PvE. So, you're playing against a computer a lot of the time. There's arena and clan versus clan and other things that kind of force you to play against other players. I also like that there's a lot of aspects of the game that are idle. So I can come in here, I have energy stored up and I can just go in, set it up. I can just run multi-battles and just have it going endlessly while I do something else around the house, or I go do other work while I'm editing videos, while I go outside and touch grass, which is a great idea, which I should do. I like that I'm able to do that, and I kind of have all of these idle aspects within the game itself. This makes me a lot happier to play the game. Consequently, it also makes me more likely to spend money on the game because I don't feel like I have to. I'm one of those people who, if the game I'm playing tells me I have to play a certain amount, there'll be, oh, you have a login streak, or you have to, you missed out on this character because you weren't playing for a couple days. That just pisses me off, and I don't like it, and I don't want to play it. And especially being raised on console games, I was so used to being able to just, hit the save button, finish a battle, and be done, and come back whenever, I'd finished my chores, finished my homework, or gone and played outside like my mom was always telling me to do. And I expect the same from my mobile games. Another aspect of this game that I really enjoy and keeps me coming back are the events. There's always events going on. Since I started, there have been 5 separate login champions. That would be Alice, Loki, Lemonisi the Goldwing, and Skeletor. So we've had several different major characters that have come through, and you'll even see that Alice and Loki are 2 at the very top of my roster. So not only were they, free legendary champions that came in, they were really good free legendary champions, and they're regulars in my account. I use Loki. I use Alice. Alice is a staple in my arena team and in a lot of other areas. Loki is the same thing. He's kind of a backup for arena. I like that there are some incentives, and those are just, I have to just log into the game. That's all I have to do. I might stick around and play a little bit, but just logging into the game and getting a really good champion is a very nice aspect. Since I started playing, there have been 10 fusions, of which I've only done 3, but those were all major champions that really added to my account. Lord Entertainer Fabian, again, big in my arena team. Tholan Foulbeard, who we just finished a while back. And then I just unlocked him today, so we're going to have to scroll down. Crowcrad the Throat Ripper. So these are all champions, and these were elective. I didn't feel like I had to. Okay, that's a lie. I really felt like I had to do Fabian, but I'm very glad that I did. It took a lot of effort, and it also ended up being really fun. Didn't feel competitive in the sense that I had to fight other people, but it was competitive against myself. And there's definitely a learning curve to fusions, but it was really fun. And it was also kind of a bonding experience for me and my husband, since he plays the game too. We would kind of keep each other on track, and we'd open shards together, and we'd have a really fun time. It builds on our relationship to play this game together. And I actually really enjoy doing the fusions. And all the other events that have happened, I mean, there have been countless clan versus clan where you get a lot of resources. There's always gear enhancement events, Deck of Fates. And these are events and tournaments where you get extra resources for just doing things you normally would. There's a little incentive to do more. I haven't done that much, but that's the nice thing is I don't have to. I can just be number 43 in my whole shard and not do this at all. And it's not going to be like I'm missing out on crazy stuff. There are good things if I want to, but I don't have to. What I like about it is that there's always something happening. There's always something to do. So even if I step away and come back, there's always going to be something going on, whether it's small events, bigger events, like the month-long events that happen every so often. I really enjoy coming in and playing this, and always feeling like there's something happening. Since I've started playing the game, a lot has changed, and a lot of it has changed for the better. So there have been major additions to the game, major game, like, changing additions. One of those was relics. So this was something that added a few months into me playing the game, and it's something I haven't really developed a lot of understanding on, but I'm getting better. Another game mode that's popped in since I started playing was Chimera, and that was super cool to watch. I loved seeing that come in, and I also appreciated that because I was just doing Demon Lord before, and Hydra was terrifying to me at the time. It's still terrifying to me. But Chimera is something that I felt like I could start playing into really easily. Right off the bat, I felt like I could get into that, and that was really fun. Faction Wars Hard Mode was also something that has come into the game since I started playing. I have obviously not unlocked it, and I'm nowhere near unlocking it because you have to get Lydia in Faction Wars Normal Mode, and I need 945 stars for her. I have 628, so almost 2/3, so I still have a ways to go. But I like seeing these things added to the game because it makes me feel like, I have somewhere to go. I have more to do. I can divvy up my energy and my time wherever I would like. There's also been a lot of quality of life features that have added to the game since I started in. One of those was campaign super raids, which was huge for me because I was always training a lot of champions and it made it go faster. This one hasn't been fully implemented, but more recently we've been starting getting Minotaur's Labyrinth as a super raid as an event. So it's temporary at the time, but they did say that they want to make this permanent to the game. And this also saves me a lot of multi-battles, saves me a lot of time, and I appreciate seeing, this was something that was highly requested by the community, and it's something that they're implementing. So I appreciate that. Background battles are also something. So when you have the option of doing a multi-battle, you can have it just running and then you just watch the whole battle play out, or you can have it go as a background battle. So that will run while I can do other things in the game. I can't do other battles, which kind of limits me, but I can come in, I can play with the gear on my champions. I can set up their masteries. I can open shards. There's other things I can do while that's running. And plus, at least 100 champions have been introduced to the game since I started playing. I'll tell you why all of this matters. So my conclusion on this, I've played a lot of games that feel dead. And I think if you have played some high development games, you know what I'm talking about. There are some games that you play, and when you play them, you kind of get the sense that developers have kind of checked out, have kind of given up. Or the lead developer has kind of given up and checked out on the game, and that kind of trickles down throughout the rest of the development team. This is not one of those games, and this is no way a dead game. This is the furthest thing from. I think if you go into the Raid Shadow Legends Reddit or Discord, you're going to see some critiques, and I think those critiques are also necessary because being able to voice your concerns about a game to the developers, or at least in a place where the developers are going to see it, means that those improvements are going to be made. Because when people are making critiques about the game, it means you care about the game. So that's a good thing. And I highly recommend people giving critiques. And I know this is a very positive spin on the game, but in the comment section, feel free to tell me some of your critiques about the game. I don't think this game is perfect. I don't think there is such thing as a perfect game. But I want to talk about, but in my experience, this game is doing a lot more than other games that I've played. I know I'm speaking in generalities. I don't want to talk shit about other games, but I can tell you some specific things, like feeling like the game is dead, feeling like I'm constantly pushed into always logging in every day, having to do the same thing every day, having to get every single champion all the time. This is not one of those games. I like that there's a lot of flexibility and that you can play the game in a way that makes sense to you, your time, your life outside of video games. I'll be real with you. I understand that this is a gacha game. I get it. There's loot boxes, there's shards. there is a sort of gambling aspect to it. I also knew that going in, and I don't feel compelled to interact with the more gacha aspects of the game, and I appreciate that because I don't want to. Another thing, and I might stir up some debate with this opinion, but in my experience, I feel valued as a player. I feel like the developers listen. I feel like they want to do what they can. I think every developer is limited to when a game hits a certain level of success, it's going to feel pressure from its parent company or other influences that we can't see that are behind the scenes to, hit certain margins, make the stockholders happy. There's a lot of those aspects that we aren't necessarily privy to. And there are some games where I feel like it's really obvious that all they want to do is just extract every single dime out of you, like the constant pop-ups, bottlenecking in resources and making things really difficult. There are some bottlenecks in this game, and that's okay. I feel like that's necessary in the mobile gaming industry. I think that's to be expected. This is not nearly as severe in my experience. Maybe it's the games I was playing before, but I have a very positive opinion of this game by comparison. I feel like they take suggestions from the community. Minotaur Super Raids are a good recent example of that. I also feel like I'm given a lot of helpful resources, like through the little events that happen all the time, through the logins, through all of the free, month-long events that come through. There are a lot of other good resources, necessary resources, not just weird gear and things that you aren't going to use. There's a lot of stuff that comes in that players actually need and use on a regular basis. And as I get closer and closer to motherhood, which is definitely going to impact my time on video games, I'm not going to be able to, it's not going to be nearly the amount of time I had before. I appreciate playing a game that isn't going to punish me for that. I want to be able to have other aspects of my life. We did IVF for 2 years. We really want this baby. We're really excited to be parents. So I don't want to give that up or feel like I have to completely let go of certain aspects of my life. I know this sounds silly for a video game, but I've always really liked video games. It's a way I decompress. It's a way I have fun. It gives me some joy. It gives me a lot of joy to play these. So I appreciate that I found a game that isn't going to punish me for cultivating other aspects of my life, motherhood being one of them. Baby's due in December, so we still got a lot of time. I'll be able to take a few weeks off, and I'll be able to come back to the game, and I'm not going to be stuck with irrelevant champions. I'm not going to be stuck with resources that mean nothing. There are a lot of champions and aspects of the game that are still relevant, that were there when the game launched 6 years ago, and they're still relevant, and they're still really good. So having that makes it a lot more likely that I'm going to be playing this game even with Baby Boomer. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear other people's experience on this. I always, when you go on Reddit and Discord, you're always going to see the salt, but I do really enjoy playing this game. And if you want to join the game, playing the game with me, the best way to do so, like I said at the beginning, is to click the link in the description or scan the QR code. You want to start off with as many resources and champions as you possibly can, and this is the best way to do that. And all of these champions are really good, so that's incredibly helpful as well. And then you do have to use that promo code Monkey King in the first 48 hours of creating your account in order to get that other legendary Sun Wukong, who is incredibly helpful. But that's everything I have. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and thank you guys again for being here. Thank you for being a part of this channel. I think we're at 1,100 subscribers now, and it gives me a lot of joy to be able to do this and create this community and hang out with you guys. So thank you very much for being a part of it, and I will see you in the next video.